glass from the windows, puncturing her face. Her doctor at Kharkiv's main hospital said there's a fine line between life and death.
Психологически тяжело, говорит, она прилетела какая-то, бомба такая, что вообще она сидела, тишина, полная тишина, ничего не свистело, не летело, потом раз и все.
Next door, we found 4 men fighting for their lives. One hit by shrapnel, another blown up by a mine. Sergei is an opera singer turned volunteer who was shot 7 times as he tried to evacuate local residents.
На спині ще, просто біля хребта, взагалі там міліметр. І уявіть, що було, якби куля втрапила, буквально міліметр в хребет. Розумієте, тобто, слава Богу, живий.
Who was shooting at you?
Хто у вас стріляв?
Ой, я насправді не знаю цього. Насправді не знаю. Але дуже радий, що я здоровий, бо це ніч, і в Харкові вночі відбувається все, що завгодно просто.
Sergei's body should heal in time, and he's celebrated with an old Italian song of resistance.
La mattina mi son svegliato, ho trovato partisan. Ciao!
Death and displacement have come to everybody's doorstep, but there are many here who are determined to hold on. John Sparks, Sky News, Kharkiv.
Well, global wheat prices have soared because of the ongoing crisis, with some reports that a Russian blockade of ports in the Black Sea could prevent the export of 7 billion tonnes of grain later this year. Our business presenter Ian King joins me live from the city. And Ian, we know that Ukraine is referred to as the breadbasket of the world, but just what kind of impact could not letting the wheat that is there already in the country get out have internationally?
Well, Jane, this is another example of the way in which the war in Ukraine is having all sorts of knock-on effects right around the world. Obviously, we're seeing that in this country with higher fuel prices, for example. But the rising price of wheat and shortages of wheat is now becoming a very serious concern. As you say, Russia and Ukraine together accounted for around 30% of global wheat exports before the war. But it's the fact that a lot of that wheat may not now be able to leave Ukraine that is causing a lot of concern. There are some 20 million tonnes of wheat and corn waiting to be exported by Ukraine between now and the end of June. That has a value of around some $6 billion, which, to put that in context, in 2021, Ukraine's total grain exports were worth $27 billion. So this is a big proportion of their harvest. And the kind of countries to which this was destined are going to be potentially facing big shortages. They're countries including the likes of Turkey and Egypt. Egypt, by the way, the world's biggest wheat importer. But also some very poor countries in particular that have had their fair share of tumult over recent years, the likes of Tunisia, Libya, Syria. Another good example, Lebanon, that takes something like 70% of its wheat imports from Ukraine. So these are all countries potentially facing real shortages. Now, we know from the United Nations food programs that food inflation is currently running at around 20.7% worldwide. That is only likely to go up, and that will have other ramifications, because whenever we've seen elevated prices like this and shortages, you tend to get a lot of political upheaval in some of these countries. A good example, 2007, 2008, you had droughts in big wheat and rice producing countries. You had food riots in 40 countries around the world. Another very good example would be in 2011, again, when wheat prices were at an elevated level, and that led really to the Arab Spring. It kicked off in Tunisia and spread elsewhere. So tumult right across the Arab-speaking world and across North Africa in particular. And potentially these kind of scarcities threaten a rerun of those sort of incidents. And further afield, I mean, countries like Indonesia, Pakistan, these are also big importers of Ukrainian wheat. So there's a lot of concern. In terms of what the price has done, well, actually the price before the war was trading at around $8 per bushel. Now, a bushel is enough to make some 70 white £1 loaves of bread, 90 wholemeal £1 loaves of bread. The price shot up on the 8th of March to nearer $13 per bushel. Right now it's trading at just shy of $11.25 a bushel, up 2.5% on the session. So wheat very much at an elevated level. It hasn't really been at these sort of elevated levels for a decade or so. As I say, the last time we saw prices at this sort of level, you got the Arab Spring as a consequence.
OK, Ian, thanks very much. Well, if you scan the QR code on screen right now, you can listen to the latest edition of the Sky News Daily podcast. Today, Nick Qureshi speaks to our security and defence editor, Deborah Haynes, and Russian security experts as well about how the war in Ukraine could end and the red line in negotiations. You can subscribe to the Daily wherever you get your podcasts. And a reminder that tonight we'll have a special question and answer session on the war in Ukraine with our security and defence analyst, Michael Clark. That's at 7 o'clock here on Sky News. Now, the Office for National Statistics has in the last hour published analysis of excess deaths registered in England and Wales, including deaths due to COVID-19 and other causes. Our science correspondent Thomas Moore joins me now from Buckinghamshire. And Thomas, this is significant because this covers pretty much the whole period of COVID so far. What do the statistics tell us about the number of excess deaths due to that in the UK?
Yeah, it covers the period up until the end of December 2021, so the beginning of the Omicron wave. And there are lots of different ways of measuring death, and that has proved to be one of the difficulties during this pandemic. You can look at the number of people, as the dashboard does, look at the number of people who die within 28 days of a positive test, or you can use other measures. And this is one of those measures. It's the favoured method of the Chief Medical Officer, Professor Sir Chris Whitty, because it compares the death rate against the long-term 5-year average in England and Wales. And it shows that in the first year and a bit, almost 2 years of the pandemic, there were 133,623 excess deaths from all causes in England and Wales. And for men, that was 17% above that long-term average. And for women, it was 10.5% above the long-term average. If you look at the months, it's quite interesting. There's so much detail in this. But April 2020 and January 2021 were the months where excess deaths were at the highest. Now, you wouldn't say that was a surprise because, of course, that coincided with the big wave that we started off on, and then, of course, the Delta wave, the Alpha wave in January last year. But interesting, when you strip out COVID-19, the number of excess deaths was only slightly raised in men, but it fell compared to the long-term average in women. Nevertheless, for 9 out of the 22 months, even when you remove COVID-19 deaths, the excess deaths were still higher than the long-term average. And you can look at factors such as signs and symptoms linked to frailty, which often coincides with the elderly, but also things like cirrhosis and liver disease. There was some evidence that people were drinking more during the pandemic, and if they can't access get hold of medical help, then that can have severe consequences. Diabetes too, an issue that needs regular medical attention. Deaths from diabetes were also much higher than would be expected. So some really interesting statistics, and people will be poring over this for some time to come to try and learn the lessons of what happened during the pandemic.
Okay, Thomas, thanks very much. Chinese authorities say they found no survivors after a passenger plane crashed in the south of the country with 132 people on board. China's aviation authorities said it was travelling from the city of Kunming to Guangzhou, a journey of over 600 miles. The plane came down in mountains near the city of Wuzhou. A CCTV video appeared online appears to show the plane in nosedive. Rescue workers are searching a mountain forest for debris and flight recorders from the Boeing 737 jet. Sky's Tom Cheshire has more details.
This is a small village, quite a long way from Wuzhou, the nearest city. It shows you how remote this region is, and this is the centre, a makeshift centre for the search and rescue operation. We've seen people streaming in and out towards the crash site, but we arrived here to the sad news that there are no survivors from this plane crash. That has changed the nature of the operation here. What they'll be doing now is going to that mountain, picking through any debris, and it looks like tiny pieces of debris, such was the force of the impact, to try and put together what happened to this China Eastern flight, because it is a mystery at the moment. This flight was cruising along yesterday in nice weather conditions, nothing to worry about, and it suddenly plummeted from the sky at an extraordinary rate of speed. It managed to pull up a little bit and then dive back into the ground. That shouldn't happen to a modern airplane, so the investigation will be looking at why. There will be focus, of course, on the manufacturer of the plane, Boeing, especially given the history of the two 787 MAX crashes. This was a different sort of plane, but nonetheless China Eastern, which is a state-owned carrier, one of China's three flagship carriers really, has grounded all its Boeing 787-8s. Boeing has said it will cooperate with the Chinese Civil Aviation Administrative investigation. There are still relatives gathering in the airports, Kunming and Guangzhou, where the flight took off from and where it was headed to, seeking answers, but they have got one very grim answer already: the fact that there are no survivors on this plane crash. 132 souls on board that flight, which crashed into the mountains just over there.
Let's look at some of the day's other news now. And 2 people have died after an attack at a secondary school in Malmö in Sweden. An 18-year-old student was arrested on suspicion of murder. It's not yet clear what happened, but police have confirmed that there were no reports of gunfire. A man has been charged with the murder of a 19-year-old psychology student in central London. Sabita Tanwani was found dead at student accommodation in Clerkenwell in the early hours of Saturday. The ferry company P&O has until 5 p.m. today to explain why it sacked 800 workers without notice. The RMT union says crews have been replaced by agency workers from India who are being paid as little as £1.81 an hour. P&O said that the figure was not accurate, but has not clarified how much they are actually paid. The trial of the man accused of murdering Sir David Amess continues at the Old Bailey today. The court heard on Monday that Ali Harbi Ali was a fanatical terrorist who previously plotted an attack on Michael Gove, going 6 times to the minister's home for reconnaissance. Ali Harbi Ali denies murder and preparing terrorist acts. A new study has found the number of prescriptions written for anti-anxiety medication has risen sharply. Researchers from the University of Bristol found that women are almost twice as likely as men to be diagnosed with anxiety. This is Sky News Today. Coming up, taking in the sights of Belize, we'll have the latest from the Royal Tour of the Caribbean.
The surge in prices is squeezing all our finances. With rising fuel costs, inflation, and higher food bills, the cost of living is going up and up. How will the Chancellor's spring statement help reduce the cost of living crisis? The Spring Statement on Sky News.
A toddler has died after being attacked by a dog that her family had owned for just a week. Let's talk to our correspondent, Becky Kojo, who is at the scene for us in St Helens. Becky, awful story. Just tell us what you've gleaned whilst you're up there.
Yeah, we've been here this morning and we've seen the forensics team have just arrived at the house where that toddler was attacked yesterday by her family dog. She was taken to hospital yesterday afternoon where she sadly died from her injuries. We've been speaking to people on this estate, neighbours who vaguely knew the family and said how lovely they were, but also two people who were involved in trying to provide CPR yesterday. One girl, Jordan, she's actually going to university to train to be a paramedic. She said that she gave CPR to the toddler for about 30 seconds before the paramedics took over. I asked her how she felt today. She said the only way to describe it is numb. We spoke to another gentleman on the estate that also helped to give CPR. He didn't want to talk too much, clearly still traumatised. He was on the verge of tears and had to stop speaking. Now we're hoping to find out more from the police shortly. They'll be giving a statement here at 11, but we know that the dog has been humanely destroyed. That's what the police said, and they will now conduct tests to see whether it was a legal breed under the Dangerous Dogs Act. But we're waiting for more information. We hope to hear that soon, and just profound sadness from all the neighbours.
Becky, thanks very much for that. Prince William has expressed his solidarity with people in Ukraine. He was speaking on a visit to Belize during his tour of the Caribbean. This report from Sky's Royal correspondent Rhiannon Mills does contain flash photography.
So basically this is the last royal to come to the ruins at Cahill Petch was the Queen. In her Platinum Jubilee year, her grandson and granddaughter-in-law were the ones delivering her warm wishes.
Long live the Queen! Que viva la reina!
William used the moment to recall his grandmother's words of praise for Belize in 1994, to then condemn the horrors taking place in Ukraine.
She said, "I am proud to associate myself with your determination that social justice and personal freedom should flourish under the rule of law. It is always dangerous, however, to be complacent and to assume that democratic values will look after themselves. Vigilance in protecting them is needed. Sadly, elsewhere in the world, that vigilance is being tested today in Ukraine. Belize has joined many others in condemning the invasion and standing up for the principles of international law, peace, and security. Today we think of those struggling in Ukraine, and we stand with them in solidarity.
It was a reminder these tours aren't all about sightseeing after their morning among the Mayan ruins at Caracol. The couple standing on the Sky Palace, still the largest man-made structure in Belize, was the picture, until they were joined by some of us. These pictures are priceless for the people of Belize. A tour brings immense global attention, and a stage the royal couple know they can also personally use to deliver the messages that matter so much to them. Rhiannon Mills, Sky News in Belize.
Let's get a look on the weather. The next few days, mostly fine, with long clear spells bringing warm days and chilly nights. Today, it'll be warmer than yesterday for most, with a high of 20 Celsius, 68 Fahrenheit possible somewhere in the south. We'll keep you guessing. An onshore breeze will keep it cooler near some coasts, mainly in the northeast and the southwest. It'll be largely dry this afternoon with good sunny spells, but a few heavy showers are also possible. The Midlands and Ireland look most at risk of showers, but the odd one can't be ruled out over northern England and southern Scotland too. Those showers will soon fade to leave a dry and clear night with a patchy frost developing in the countryside. Some fog as well, mostly for the northeast of England. This is Sky News.
Hallelujah! Praise the Lord. The Power Word International presents Doing Good Outreach 2022 Free Medical Screening and Crusade. Theme, Run to Jesus Christ, your only Savior. Venue at Vatimne Van, Wednesday 6th April 2022. At Vatimne Ambejofe, Thursday 7th April 2022. At Vatimne Biakba, Friday 8th April 2022. At Vatimne Jongwefemne, Saturday 9th April 2022. Free medical screening starts at 6 a.m. each day. Crusade starts at 7 p.m. each night. To support this worthy cause financially, kindly contact us on WhatsApp 0044 7851 205626. Email admin@thepowerwordint.co.uk or donate via website at thepowerwordint.co.uk. Run to Jesus Christ, your only Savior.
Run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ, beloved. Run. Now is the time. Now is the day. Today is the accepted and appointed season for you to run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ. Hallelujah.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
All over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness. So what did that? Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019?
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile. If you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you're listening to Starr Radio. Okay, sometime in life you feel like giving up, but it's not time for you to give up yet. I know you've done everything that you got to do, and you think that, well, it seems I'm not working. Why not I give up? Hey, 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 hey. Can you hear me? Are you on the sound of my voice? All right then. I tell you, you are alive. And if you are alive, there is hope for you. And I say a massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Those of you on other planets as well, I salute you and I welcome you to the Tuesday edition of the morning show. Today is the 22nd day of March, the year 2022, 2203. 22. All right then. And the time now 10:41 from the House of London. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
The morning Archie.
So let me say good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi, Kojo D, Felix all the way in Aberdeen. Mr. Kofi Ali Abdul Yakin, massive good morning to you. Malik, morning to you. And a special good morning all the way to our listeners in the US, the McKeevers, Kamfara Hivet in Minnesota, Abiose in New York, Mr. Morrison in New York as well, and Mr. Morrison Jr. too in Florida. Okay. Everywhere you are listening to us from, we salute you all. And to our listeners, those of you in the UK, those of you in Europe, those of you in Asia, those of you in Australia, and those of you on the African continent, I salute each and every one of you. I say a massive good morning, especially those of you in Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, and South Africa. And in South Africa, let me say a massive happy birthday to my baby brother, Mr. Ebenezer Hammond. Your birthday bash was no joke, boy. You're doing good. God richly bless you. Donna Blake, it's your birthday today as well, and I salute you all. I pray open heavens for you and every one of you celebrating your birthday today. May God bless you greatly. But share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Now, if it's the first time of tuning in on a Tuesday morning to listen to us, this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. Then at 11 o'clock exactly, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi who will be joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. The conversation will continue from then until 12 o'clock when the lines are open for you to join in. But before then, if you want to post your comments or you have any comments to make at all, you can post it on our Facebook page or text or WhatsApp it to us. I promise you, we're gonna read that. Then after that, the conversation continues until 1 o'clock when the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. Well, it is a Tuesday, and therefore this afternoon exactly at 1:30, BB Clement will be coming your way with BB Means Business. And then this evening, exactly at 8 o'clock, Simon Frazier will also be coming your way with a CEO. So these are some of the programs lined up for you today. Wherever you are, I salute you. Let me say good morning to Empress Regina Anima. Yes. It was nice hearing from you. Try to catch up later then.
You don't know what to do.
Okay, the quote for the day says, if you do not like what you are getting out of life, change what you are giving to life, because life will give back to you exactly what you give to it. If you don't like what you are getting out of life, change what you are giving to life, because life will give back to you exactly what you give to it. So how do you do it? Now, when people don't have the opportunity, doing their best, doing everything, and then you have the odds against them, and they think that, well, there's nothing else that can be done. What do you think is the way forward for them? It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. At least wherever you are not suffering what the Ukrainians are suffering at the moment. Someone will say, well, let not Nigeria happen to you. So there are difficult and challenging times there. However, be rest assured, you've got divinity behind you. You've got your destiny to fulfill, and therefore never give up. Keep on fighting. I tell you, one day you'll get to that place.
Still no hope inside. You cry, you pray, you wait.
Playing in the background, something from the Battle Revival Choir featuring Pastor Helen Yossen. Very nice tune that I chanced on last week. known as Hola or Savior. Okay, moving on straight to the weather front to tell you what exactly is happening on the weather front. Well, I woke up this morning a bit sunny. I was like, okay. In the night it was a bit humid. I'm like, it's happening. What is happening for London and the south of England? This is how the weather is going to be for you. Yes, today will be a dry and fine day. Now, lengthy spells of sunshine are likely through the day, and it will feel rather warm for most. The skies will remain clear through the evening. Tonight will be dry with clear skies throughout. It will turn chilly in places. Top temperature is going to be 19 degrees. The lower is going to be 4 degrees. Pollen level is going to be low. UV level is going to be moderate, and pollution is going to be low as well. Sunset 18:16 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 06 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast. You can share with us what is happening in your area. Why not? I promise you, I'm gonna definitely, without a shadow of doubt, wait it out. Okay then, let's take a quick break. We come back and then we bring you the travel update. Stay tuned, don't you go away.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads, so keep enough gated. I promise about the Starr Radio Travel Up, the country where every day from 10:40, it's now 10:48. So what is your travels like this morning? You want to share with us? Feel free to do so. Well, here in London, this is how the traffic is like when it comes to the underground, Circle, District, Northern Lines have issues there. But Circle Line has got severe delays in the clockwise direction only while they fix a faulty train at Westminster. Good service on the rest of the line anti-clockwise. And when it comes to the District line as well, severe delays Elscourt and Ealing Broadway, Richmond, Wimbledon due to an early faulty train at Westminster. Now tickets are being accepted on local buses and South Western Railway. Good service on the rest of the line. And as you know, Northern Line partly closed to be opened to be in full operation mid-May. But we still have issues on the London Overground, as I said, until the 24th of March. Well, some trips or routes will have to be done. The times have changed, so check before you leave. That is between Richmond to Willesden and Clapham Junction to Stratford. But keep your eyes on the roads, so keep you navigated, I promise, our bombs. That aside, all the others have got good service. TFL Rail, DLR, London Tramlink, good service there as well. Now moving on straight to the river bus this morning. On the river bus, apart from the Woolwich Ferry, that has got a reduced service, all the others have got good service. Now, on the National Rail this morning, cross country, First Trans-Pennine Express, Greater Anglia, and London North Eastern Railway have all got special service. Northern Rail, minor delays, and Southeastern special service there as well. But keep your eyes on the roads, as we keep you navigated. I promise our bond. Now moving on to the final segment of the travel update. That's the major roads in London. This one we got in line for you. Yes, so on the major roads, A1 has got closures, A12 closures, A316 closures, A4 closures, and Central London Red Routes closures there as well. And you know, as I will say all the time, well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the road.
tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes.
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of digging the hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world in a just. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Okay, welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's move on straight to the global trotting. Well, we bring you all the news that is making the rounds in your area across the globe. As I say all the time, if it's making the headlines, why not? We definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, will touch on that. Okay, so straight on. Some of the topics that we'll be looking at when we have Mr. Olayomi on is at 11 o'clock. Character building, catalyst for functional education, says Baba Lola. And then the founder of Afe Bababola University, Ado Ekiti, Chief Afe Bababola, has said Nigeria will only have a functional education if universities are made of fertile ground to acquire degrees. Now, what do you think about that? Quite an interesting one there, isn't it? But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, lots more going to be coming your way from Nigeria there. A failure of this incompetent government has been spectacular at all forms, says former President Mahama. I remember back in the day when the then opposition party, that was the MPP, were going around to say that, well, the NDC government led by the former President John Mahama was incompetent in all fronts. Now it's now time for them to also call them the ruling government, ruling party, incompetent as well. Well, we'll be bringing you more on that front as well. Now, some are asking, why Bawumia is mute on the economy? Is it that he cannot see anything on the way forward, and therefore you think that the best way forward is to be quiet? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Take courage tonight. Hallelujah. My brother, my sister in the Lord, take courage.
A plastic pollution clogs hydropower dam in DR Congo. Oh my. The eyesore there is overpowering. I'll be telling you about the World Happiness Report, and I'll be telling you which countries or which people are a happy bunch. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. When it comes to the UK front, what is happening here? Let me bring you more on the front. A dog bought a week ago kills a girl at home. Oh, the devastation. Oh my goodness. I mean, the regrets that will be following this, because whoever gave this out, or whoever bought this dog or had a notion that the family should get that dog, will be cursing themselves. You know, it's sad. But the dog had to be put down humanly. Yes, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And borrowing figures give Rishi Sunak wiggle room. One influential economist says government borrowing this year could be about £25 billion less than expected. How are they going to be doing that? Because, you know, interestingly, we are looking at the deficit and we're looking at the economic instability at the moment and the pinch on people. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen there? Tomorrow, that will be coming your way. A court has ruled that Chris Mullin may guard assaults over the Birmingham pub bombings despite police pressure. And a man has been charged with murder of woman at uni halls. Freeing Azane took too long, says Hunt. The former foreign secretary insists he did all he could but calls for an independent inquiry. Do we need an independent inquiry into that? Okay, and then final one, stomach bug cases plummeted in UK's COVID lockdown. Food poisoning and gastroenteritis outbreaks halved in England as people stayed at home. Why? Is it because we eat outside? And some of the food that we eat outside, I think it's about time that now everybody learns to prepare their own meals at home, and somebody will say chop it. All right then. Now, in international front, Belarusian dissident fight against Russia in Ukraine. Belarusian dissident Pavel Kulazhenko left his life in New York to join the fight against Russia. How many of them have been doing so? And Putin back against war in Ukraine. Biden is saying, the U.S. president says he believes the Russian leader will resort to so-called false flag attacks. Well, so it looks like biological or chemical weapon is something that can happen. Looks like inevitable at the moment. But what do you think about all that? A lot more going to be coming your way. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And 2 teachers killed in attack at the Swedish school is one of the rounds and stories making the rounds there. Now, yesterday we did talk about the Chinese crash. Well, families of the 132 people on board have gathered at a nearby airport waiting anxiously for updates. Now, what updates are they going to get? Well, you might not know. People have a crash like that and some of them survive. So maybe somewhere, somehow, they believe that they are going to survive. Or somebody may survive. India Boeing jet under surveillance after crash. India's aviation authority has ordered enhanced scrutiny in 737 aircraft after China Eastern crash. Okay, so this and a lot more going to be coming your way during the course of the program, but it's now gone exactly just few seconds to 11 o'clock. It is a Tuesday edition of the morning show. Enjoy the rest of that music, and I will bring you Mr. Olayomi Koiki in a moment.
UK. In your car.
At work.
At home.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
You are listening to Starr Radio.
On your smartphone.
The voice. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. The Power Word International presents Doing Good Outreach 2022 Free Medical Screening and Crusade. Theme, Run to Jesus Christ, your only Savior. Venue, Avatimne Van, Wednesday, 6th April 2022. Avatimne Amejofe, Thursday, 7th April 2022. Avatimne Biakba, Friday, 8th April 2022. Avatimne Jongwefemne, Saturday, 9th April 2022. Free medical screening starts at 6 a.m. each day. Crusade starts at 7 p.m. each night. To support this worthy cause financially, kindly contact us on WhatsApp 0044 7851 205626. Email admin@thepowerwordint.co.uk or donate via website at thepowerwordint.co.uk. Run to Jesus Christ, your only Savior.
Run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ, beloved. Run. Now is the time. Now is the day. Today is the accepted and appointed season for you to run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ. Hallelujah.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And let me say a massive good morning to Amaya Ajerigene. I hope you are doing very well. I hope you had a good night and things are working good. Yes, we've not given up, have we? Yes, we'll keep on keeping on. But it's now gone, 6 minutes past the top of the hour, and that means that it's time for updates from Nigeria, where I've got Mr. Olayomi who has joined in. And let me say, Yomi, good morning to you.
Well, it is a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe, and welcome again to your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. It is the 22nd of March 2022, and like you said, it's just about 6 minutes.
Okay, it seems you've muted.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Just getting the other transmission ready.
Okay.
6 minutes past the hour of 11 o'clock, 12 minutes past or 6 minutes past 12 p.m. local time in Nigeria. And as we're about to kickstart again, it is the focus on the news coming from Nigeria. But let me come back again slightly to you in the studio.
Yes, how are you doing, sir?
Well, staying very strong, looking at the window, it is a bright weather out there. I can't wait for the spring to get closer so that we can also change the outfit that we put on here in United Kingdom, especially for those of us that are fed up of the big jacket that we travel around. I mean, my wife keep telling me that she doesn't know what I carry in my jacket, but for whatever reason, that jacket, it seems to be as heavy load as what you can think of. And I do say that sometimes you never know whether the weather will be a very slight one. And for somebody like me that have stayed here for over 2 decades, you can never get used to the weather, like they say.
Of course, that is so true. Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we're bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, interestingly, let's touch on this one first. Pertaining to the president's visit yesterday. Today he's coming to Lagos today. Yeah. Now, have you had any update on it? Anything? Is it still coming on?
Yes, from what we are aware, the president, will be in Lagos. Let me see if we have any feed or any conversation or any information. But we do know that there's quite a lot of security present already, as we do know. When the president is coming to Lagos, the question is, should we even have a whole economic shutdown because of the visit of the president? That is the question. We do know that Boris Johnson moved around here in United Kingdom, from one end to the other. But the question is, does it mean that when Boris Johnson is traveling to North London or the Southeast, and that literally means that the whole economic is paralyzed? This is exactly what is going to be happening in Lagos today, because when the president travels, we do know how the African president travel. They do travel with a kind of a big convoy, and not just that alone, other businesses are kind of shut down, and that also have impact, to people that are traveling, like we did say yesterday. But like I said, yes, I can tell you from the screen here on my other channel, we can confirm that there is already preparation for the ISA Plant Commission. President Buhari arrives in Lagos. This is the screenshot that I'm looking at. I can see that the aircraft has landed. This is coming just about few hours ago, if I can say. I think it's just even live. That means that it's just actually arriving. I could see the Nigerian Air Force tarmac in Lagos, and I believe it might be moved maybe with the helicopter, which I can also see on my screen here. But let me come back again to you in the studio while I continue to monitor, the screen here on this side in North London.
Yes, listeners, I will be bringing you more updates as and when we get it. But let me say good morning to Kennedy. Kennedy Ekumemen, good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well. Thank you very much for joining us as well. And as I say all the time, every time I'll come on, I'll tell you, I dug my hat out to all our listeners in on the African continent, because as I say all the time, it costs you an arm and a leg to do so, but you follow us genuinely. You are always there religiously, and I salute you. I dug my hat out for you. But now let's move on to some of the other story that's making the rounds in Nigeria. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, quite a lot is happening this morning. Yesterday, not a very great news, a good one coming from the southern Kaduna, where multiple life the problem with Nigeria is that incident happen, but sometimes it could take 24 to 48 hours before this information get to even in Nigeria, not to talk about those of us outside Nigeria. And sometimes the news does get to those of us outside Nigeria than those back in Nigeria as well. So yesterday there was another terrorist attack on the southern Kaduna that eventually made about almost 30 lives to be lost. The question then again is, for how long do we have to wait for incident of such to continue to happen? So let's go into that story a little bit, then we go into some of the other headlines as well. Again, terrorists raided Kaduna, Zamfara, killed 62, adopted 62, and also 70 houses were burnt to the total ground. 25 persons, including 2 military personnel, were reportedly killed while a riot policeman allegedly shot a passerby, and no fewer than 70 houses were razed on Sunday following an attack by terrorists on Agban Kagoro in the Kaura local government area of Kaduna State. The governor declared a curfew yesterday. The two local governments are in the southern Kaduna area of the state, and they both share the boundaries. In Zamfara State, terrorists killed 37 persons, kidnapped 62 others in Dui and Dora village in Bangudu local government area, while 20 others were killed in Ghana Kiyawa village in Bukuyu local. The question you then start asking yourself is, where are all the security operatives? You know, how do they allow such magnitude of incident to happen? And I can tell you reason, there's lack of security operatives in those areas, and likewise communication is as poor as you can think of as well. I'm going to touch on some other headline and slightly come back. The Inspector General of Police is working on new police salary and structure. We know, and from the information that we have, that the police officers on the 26th, which is about 4 days from now, are planning to go on what we call a strike for pension and salary as well. But according to the headline, the Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 2, Adeyinka Adeleke, has said Inspector General of Police Usman Baba is working on implementation of the increment in salaries and allowance of police in line with the approval of the federal government. So that is coming from that headline, and then we take the other headline, then come straight to you in the studio. 14 minutes past the hour. APC Chairman Al-Makura Aduma Yari orders lend faith as aspirant screening we hold today. Federal government has scrapped the PCR test for fully vaccinated travelers, just as those that are outside the UK as well. Most of these COVID restriction that also shut down almost the whole economic of different countries around the globe, and Nigeria being included as well. So federal government scrapped PCR tests for fully vaccinated travelers. It doesn't seem to be going well in Cross River State, as security operatives has now taken over the National Assembly, the House Assembly, after a court judgment. The armed police on Tuesday morning took over the Cross River State House of Assembly. The police drawn from the anti-kidnap squad and regular policemen were also seen around the route leading to the House of Assembly. Movement into the Assembly complex on Diamond Hill was restricted. Their presence followed the High Court ruling on Monday, sacking 20 lawmakers in the state for defecting from the People's Democratic Party to the APC. Again, it's electionary time, as a lot of people are saying. Also that, and I'm going to be, yesterday we couldn't give the exact time for the election, where millions of Yorubas and the Igbo are saying that it is a self-determination, it is no election, and that already is the message that is being brought out, even with the petition and the awareness. But in 325 days, 12 hours, 43 minutes, and the seconds is going down, every Nigerians will know their fate, whether a country will still exist in the terms of those that want an election, or those that disagree that elections should hold at all. And that is the message. So 20 lawmakers that were part of the People Democratic Party, PDP, moved to APC, and that doesn't seem that they will continue as the House lawmakers, and that is the reason why on the High Court ruling they've all now been sacked. We take one more, come back again to you in the studio. It is the political time in Nigeria, and you can see all the players moving around trying to tell Nigerians. I had the opportunity to listen to what we call the space, where a lot of people are making use on Twitter to get audience, and then we have people speak. Part of the one I listened to were groups of people that were involved or participated during the NSAS, and you could tell that Nigerians are angry, but they're not too sure whether their anger will be brought out on the street again after the massacre of almost 100 innocent Nigerians. from that conversation that I listened to, witnesses that were there, during the killings of the innocent Nigerians that were even raising their flags, that were singing the national anthem, but were eventually killed by the same, Nigerian security. The Lagos state government is aware of this. The national party of the APC is aware of this. The presidency is aware, but nobody, even after the white paper that have also pinpoint of the killing, nobody has been charged, or nobody has been put into a court trial. And the message is from those conversations that I was listening to, the Nigerians are just parrots, does not have any action. It is Star Radio UK. I'll come back again to you now in the studio.
Well, listeners, our Nigerians only parrots, cannot do nothing. That means just talk, no action. Well. With 325 days more hours and some seconds before the 2023 election, that countdown there, we'll be bringing it more every day. But the question is, do Nigerians want this election to happen? Some would say yes, some do. Others are saying no, they want out of it. And I'm asking, would that election be now a form of referendum? Because if they vote against the government or the various political parties, the main political parties, and maybe get someone else, maybe that will be a protest vote, and that might turn things around. But what do you think? Defections going on here and there? Well, we'll be telling you more about that in a moment. But let me read a few of the comments that have come through, and I will go back to Ms. Olayomi Koiki. Northern part of Nigeria are reaping from the monsters they sow. They created terrorism, and it's now tearing the region apart. The thing is, if it's tearing only that particular region apart, we would have said, okay, you are ripping what you sowed. But it is spreading across the country, where people who have got nothing to do with that are also facing such issues there. But what, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. Let's look at the vaccination. So now, if somebody is supposed to be traveling today from London to Nigeria, he doesn't need to be vaccinated. They wouldn't check anything, would they?
Well, that is if you are fully vaccinated from United Kingdom. According to fully vaccinated inbound travelers. So if I'm meant to be, or anyone is going from UK, America, Canada, and you're going on a visit to Nigeria, as long as you are fully vaccinated, according to the federal government said on Monday, that you would no longer require to take a pre-departure PCR COVID-19 test, and likewise on the arrival. The federal government said they would, however, be subject to rapid antigen test at the airport by the NCDC within the arrival all of the airport, free of charge. When they say free of charge, you definitely have to have extra fee, because that means the government has given them the opportunity to extort, as they do all the time. I know that the new airport from which is going to be commissioned today, we continue to monitor, the standard, which is the key, is different to, to open or commission a new airport is a different thing to make sure that the staff in there are doing the diligent work rather than extorting or making abusive to those arriving into the country, especially a first-timer that is traveling out of the country do face a lot of problem from the immigration officer, because they know they are what we call the JJC.
They'll just make sure that they just take some money from them. Well, it's a sad one. Nigerians are slaves in their space. That's what Amayo is saying there. Okay, now let's move on. I mean, before we go on to some of the other stories. Now, the president going to open or inaugurate the new airport. Is it a new airport? So it's not the Murtala Mohammed Airport, a new airport that have been created or built. Next
to it is the new
terminal.
One that is terminal. So
okay.
It's a new terminal that is going to be fully in operation after a lot of work. I remember having the opportunity to see it while I traveled a few times back to Nigeria. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see how this new terminal operation will be, because it's a different thing to have a terminal and it's a different thing to make sure that the system is working, the baggage areas is working, the procedure is working, for the benefit of those at home and those that will be traveling inside and outside the country as well.
Okay, listeners, for our listeners, those of you outside the country who want to be traveling down, we want to make sure that you understand what is going on so that you don't fall prey to anything. But Amayo is saying that it is a new terminal. Thank you very much, Amayo. Say it's a new terminal. All right then. Okay, let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, again, let's come back as we continue to monitor the news coming out. Pay the doctors February salaries. The Nigerian Medical Association urged Kogi State Governor. This is someone that is also, having the intention to become the Nigerian president. I was looking at last week some of the pay slip or the payment to some of the workers in Kogi State. You have to ask the question, why they are being paid at a very, very low wages. The Nigerian Medical Association has urged the governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, to direct the full payment of February salaries of the medical doctors working with the Kogi State government. The reason why, not that we don't have competent doctors or nurses or midwives in Nigeria, but the problem they're having is, when they work with the government, which is one of the easiest way to, to get employment in that sector, because with the private sector, there's tendency that there's not a lot of availability. So with the government public hospital, it is right open. They need a lot of staffing, but they are not being well taken care of. So that means there will be compromise. Some of them will then end up having their own private clinics, and they might end up stealing some of the medical equipment from the state government straight to their own private sector. While I was running a program this morning, somebody did talk about that, say that by the time a Yoruba nation comes into existence, we must not even tolerate any private hospital and private education sector, because that means there might be a kind of compromise as well. We do know that in UK, those that have the means do attend private hospital and likewise private colleges as well. The Nigerian Medical Association made the call in a communique jointly signed by its chairman, Dr. Makoji Oyigo, and the secretary, Dr. Chimeze Udubun, on Tuesday in Lokoja today. It read, the statement observed that the salary of the medical doctors working with the government of Kogi State was in the percentage of 69.79%, 97%. The meeting further observed that the payment in percentage was done despite lack of notice of invitation for negotiation to the members. So you can see that it is not going very well in Kogi State for the doctors that are working there. Let's come and look at some other headline as we continue to say, this is Starr Radio UK. The central bank forecast 3.24% growth in 2022 despite rising inflation. I'm not sure how that is going to happen, because we know millions of Nigerians are out of job, especially the youth. Millions of Nigerians, as we speak, are out of university because of the current strike. Millions of Nigerians do not have access to the basic things of life, and as of today, almost 80 million Nigerians are people living in extreme poverty according to the world data. CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria, forecast 3.24% growth in the 2022 despite the rising inflation. The Central Bank of Nigeria has projected that the Nigerian economy will grow by 3.24% in 2022 in spite of the rising inflationary challenges occasioned by the global social economic event. Mr. Godwin Emefiele, the CBN governor, made this known yesterday while presenting a communique from the Apex Bank. What do you expect, the government spokesman on CBN to say? You don't expect him to come out and say Nigeria economy is not going to grow. Let's come back and look at the forex this morning. It's about almost 770 naira to a pound, and that is about almost 600 naira to a dollar. So if you are going to be buying stuff outside Nigeria, because Nigeria is not producing country, is a consumable country, you will definitely go to the black market and be paying almost 650 for the exchange rate and almost 800 if you're exchanging to the pounds as well. And that is the problem that a lot of Nigerians are facing today as well. So he said the International Monetary Fund, IMF, also projected the economy to grow at 2.7%, while the federal government projected. Is a different thing to project, is a different thing to make it work on the ground for millions of Nigerians that are doing small little trade. Let's go and look at the business again this morning. NPA Committee to Elimination of Systematic Corruption at the nation's seaport. Almost every sector in Nigeria has one kind of corrupt system operating in it, either indirectly or directly. According to the Managing Director of Nigerian Port Authority, Muhammad Bello Koko, has reiterated the organization's commitment to the elimination of systematic corruption and other criminal practice at the nation's seaport. I'm sure a lot of Nigerians, especially those importing into the country, will tell you that that is something that they've been listening to for the last how many years. And these are some of the reasons also that those that are demanding a total disintegration out of Nigeria believe that, you know, the seaport that is in Lagos, that is meant to function for most part of the southwest, even though as a country called Nigeria, the money is moved from the seaport in Lagos, then also then used to put out a rail to Niger Republic. And you wonder what kind of transaction a Yoruba man or an Igbo man or an Hausa man wants to do in Niger, where they are putting a train track to Niger, rather than making sure that the community in Nigeria are well connected and the security as well. It was equally affirmed the authority position to operate in compliance with the standard operating procedure as stipulated in the Nigerian Port Process Manual. A project is funded to enhance operational excellence, service delivery at all Nigerian seaport and terminal. Like I said, Nigerian seaport, one of the most criminal elements, just as the NNPC, both needs to be scrapped and have a proper international auditor to look into that, because for years people like Atiku was also making use of that seaport where he made so much money before involving into the politics that they are all playing today. So I'm going to take one more, slightly come again back to you in the studio. It is still Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's look at the health and well-being of millions of Nigerians this morning. Millions of Nigerians, like I said, are part of the first country in the world where they are part of the capital poverty of the world. Federal government restate commitment towards food fortification for improved health. I'm not sure how they're going to be doing that, but let's read a little bit before coming to you in the studio. The federal government, alongside players in the food processing industry across the country, has restated commitment to ensuring adequate food fortification for the better health of our citizens. Addressing the participants at the 4th Annual Nigerian Food Processing and Nutrition Leadership Forum, a hybrid section in Lagos, the Minister of Health, Dr. Osage, assured stakeholders that the federal government will continue to support efforts to fortify food to micronutrients. Mr. Archie, I was reading again the situation in Ukraine and likewise in Russia. Do you know that Ukraine still have enough food that can survive them for another 3 to 5 years in terms of their stock in the current war? Let me come back now to you in the studio.
Well, listeners are interested. Yes, they can have enough food stuff. Stock to take them for that period of time. I will never doubt it, because they think ahead, unlike us, where people, I mean, those who are in power are just looking at padding their pockets with whatever the state has got. But interestingly, Amayo says a nation that thrives is a reflection of its leaders, and therefore, like you're saying, because the leadership of that nation were thinking ahead, they were able to do that. But when it comes to our part of the world, somebody will say, I beg to differ. But let's talk about the doctors issue that you did talk about. Those in the state, those who are working for the public hospitals, and then the private ones. A statement came in. You read a statement from somebody who posted something about. He said, when Ododuwa becomes a nation, a Yoruba nation, there will be no private hospitals or private. But I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, if we do that, then we are going to stifle the talents of people, because we need to allow the private entities to operate, and then the government entity, the public ones, to operate as well. But what is important is that the cross
checks that needs to be done. The checks and the balances need to be done. We need to instill things like that there so that there will be proper discipline. So you are working for government and you know that you are doing that work as if it is your own personal thing and you don't need to rob it. So that's where I'm coming from. I don't know what you think about that.
Well, I mean, you're quite right. I mean, the opinion of that individual, would definitely be different with the majority opinion. I mean, having a private, organization is a private business of yours. So if you, as an example, work with the NHS, and then you're going to have your own private, sector working as well, then you must adhere to the rules and regulations set up, either by the government or by that same institution that you're working for. But what we have in Nigeria today is everybody that works in the public sector have become a private investor themselves, and that takes us from the civil servant. Like I said, the civil servant knows about all the PPP, the project across the country, and they've now become their own contractor. So rather than focusing on the implementation of the project, they are also the one doing the project, and they end up not able to do it because they're working in the office, which is meant to be Monday to Friday,
divided attention,
and, at the end of and they're still trying to make sure that they monitor a project that they should have been given to to the public, because the public is meant to come for the project. So what I think is going to happen is there will be definitely private institutions, but the question is how the government is able to manage and work on them so that we do not see the compromise by doctors that are meant to be in the morning attending to patients in the public sector, but they are already still in their own private sector, doing their own job, or stealing from the public sector to their own private institution.
Yeah, even in Ghana, some of them, what they do is like when we have scan machines and stuff like that, or MMRS machines and stuff like that. People just go and then break it down, okay, so that the private one, they'll just direct you to go to a private person to go and do that. So instead of them to maybe using the government ones, they'll just be directing people to their own private thing. That's what we do. And I think Africa as a whole, we need to get to a point where we purge. Here people rob, they steal. Oh my goodness! If you go into the proper business, you tell the deals that goes on. But there is a bit of somebody will say humanity there, that you think that, okay, I can sell a bit, not all, but ours when it comes, well. But listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. What do you think about all that? Amayo says public servants in Nigeria only paid their pockets, only paid their pockets, of course. Because again, you look at the central government and you're asking yourself, what they are paying them is not enough. There is inflation. There are challenges. Everybody is trying to do something about their lives and the expenditure that they have. So they have to find ways and means to survive. And that seems to be what is going on. But we have to get to a point where all these things ceases, and we know that whatever we are doing for our country and doing for the humanity as well. We will get there one day. Somebody will say yes, others will say no. But what do you think? Not minding the consequences on the economy and masses. That is what Amaya says. He said that's what the public, those who work in the public sectors, are doing. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK in North London studios. Mr. Olayomi, I'm Archie here in the South studios. Let's go back to Yomi. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, thank you very much once again, Mr. Archie, and to all our listeners across the globe as we continue to say that there's quite a lot happening in Nigeria. But one thing is, a lot of Nigerians are wondering why the situation in Nigeria is having a big impact on them. So let's now look at some of the other headline as well before we move into the social media as well. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. As we look back into more in business as well, because we do know that a lot of millions of Nigerians are having big impact, especially with the current situation when you look at so many areas as well. Stakeholders, CBN 250 million intervention in the disco. 2 weeks ago up to last week, We saw, the power section that came down completely because of again, lack of investment in that. But before we go further, I'm going to take this comment quickly. Coming from Olatunji, says the only solution is to embark on a large-scale agricultural project in Yoruba land or in Nigeria, because a lot of people will say, like Frank will say, we're still in Nigeria, but as much as a lot of campaign, for those that want to exit the Yoruba out of Nigeria. Also, the public health sector, according to the same person, in Nigeria is already damaged and destroyed. It needs to be reformed. Quite a lot of things needs to be reformed in Nigeria, to keep Nigeria going. Once again, we do say good morning, good afternoon to those of you that are watching us from different parts of the globe. So I'm going to move swiftly into the conversation on the social media. Throughout yesterday, it was all about the atrocity and the killings of innocent Nigerians in southern Kaduna, and you tend to ask yourself again and again, where is the government when it comes to the insecurity in the country? 7 years down the line, the APC promised security will be dealt with, but as they're winding down, the PDP is saying they will fix the problem. APC saying we will fix the problem, but the question is, who is going to fix the problem? Can the problem really be fixed? Let's take a look at some of what is trending. Dr. Maduka Ogwalaka says, Professor of Medicine, Francis Duru Road, if the Igbos want to go because they don't want to be part of Nigeria, is it not better to let them go than to kill them because you want them to be part of you? This question keeps coming back. I mean, again, somebody called this morning and said to me, if we don't want to be part of Nigeria, must it be a crime to be in a country that you don't want to be part of? When, according to the UN Charter, they say that we can leave a country to have your own nation, especially if you are the indigenous people. And while I was having a conversation this morning, I did talk about, the Queen Elizabeth II, the current queen, that she is not older than the Yoruba land before the amalgamation itself in 1914. She's 95 years old, and we continue to pray for her because of her health, which is already something of discussion already on the public space. But the question is, I was looking at the treaty that was signed by the previous Alaafin of Oyo, not the current one, the father of the previous one, some 134 years ago, when they had a treaty with the Yoruba and the Britain and the Queen. And the question then is, what kind of relationship can we have when we eventually leave Nigeria to become a nation of our own, for those that prefer to be known as the Yoruba nation or the Biafra or the Arewa, rather than a country called Nigeria that everybody is trying to become a president, but rather it is not being done properly. Because even if you look at it, the Igbo is meant to be the next president of the country called Nigeria, but I'm not sure that is going to happen. So that is why Dr. Maduka is saying, if the Igbos wants to go because they don't want to be part of Nigeria, is it not better to let them go than to kill them because you want them to be part of you? So that is that. On David Odoye. David Odoye is an investigative journalist. He's also to run out of Nigeria for his own safety. According to him, by the way, the woman who engineered this entire Depiku Toyosi Ogunseye was quietly promoted away from BBC Nigeria and shunted to London. The victim got fired and slapped with grudging compensation. The perpetrator got a promotion. That is the kind of place the BBC is. So I'm not sure. I consider it's trending on number 6 on Nigerian space. But again, I would like to know a bit further of what that conversation that led to, him being trending this morning. So, again, let's look at some of the other trending on social media. Amnesty International Nigeria, at Amnesty Nigeria, today is the day 10 of a peaceful protest where women in Nigeria are demanding an end to discrimination. Amnesty International called on the National Assembly to reconsider the gender bills and ensure their speedy passage. We take one more, come back now to you in the studio at 11:42. According to Inchi at Inchi 201, information reaching us now from an intel has it that the Nigerian Army and the DSS are currently planning to carry out an attack on the people of Onitsha in Boze local government of Ebonyi State today, the 22nd of March 2022. In the southeast, it has become like a training ground for the military, with a lot of killings of innocent Igbo people, and that is something that the international community are not really looking into and talking about. This is Star Radio UK. I come back now to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, quite side comments coming from the social media front as well. But let me read what Amayo is saying, and then I ask a couple of questions, and then we will bring the update to a close. Now, Amayo says a lot of reformation will take place during transition period into Yoruba Nation. It says that if Yoruba Nation should take place, because we're looking at the private sector and the government or the public sector, how it should all operate. It can operate hand in hand, and we can get good out of that. And it said resuscitate agricultural sector, free and compulsory education up till secondary school, free healthcare with contributions to Yoruba health services, etc. So those are some of the blueprints that he thinks that needs to be used to get the Yoruba Nation, once it's formed or when it's formed, into place. It's a repeal Land Ownership Act, repeal Road Use Act, and active justice system. If all this can be implemented, I tell you that would be heaven on earth, you know.
I mean, this was actually what was, during the western region of the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo. I think a lot of people forget to understand that, when Nigeria eventually was merged in 1914, and then, the election that we know that was a fraudulent one in 1959 that led to the independence of 1960. All the conversation was being held at Lancaster House between 57 and 1958 until the Independence Day. We had what they call the regional government. That means every region from the southwest to the southeast and the north were all operating on different constitutions, and there was a speed, which was what people continue to say, that those in their 60s and 70s enjoy those kind of facility that Amayo is talking about, compared to millions of Nigerians today that are not even enjoying, not because the resources is not there. We have the resources, we have the manpower, but for whatever reason it doesn't seem to be circulating. And I was listening to one of the the children of the late Fela Nicola Kokuti with an interview granted on one of the TV stations yesterday, that says that if only the same politicians would do as they do to themselves in terms of opportunity, in terms of what they give to themselves, that means it would have been better for everybody. But rather, it doesn't seem that way to millions of Nigerians. So a politician like Buhari travels to London for a good healthcare, but doesn't care about the healthcare system in Nigeria. And every politician leaves Nigeria, to go to other countries and allow their children, to study outside, but doesn't have the same opportunity for the same Nigerians at home, because millions of Nigerians are at home now because of this kind of quality of, not enough of education system that is working. So this was part of what I picked up from that conversation. Probably have that video, soundtrack tomorrow during the program.
Okay. Now, Amayo continues. Free education had been practiced in the Yoruba part of Nigeria before independence. Amayo, somebody will say, yes, it's all well and good, but now the population has increased, and therefore, what is the way forward? But I know that if government really, because the resources and everything that Nigeria has, if they've been diligent in what they are doing, there should be money around to keep people. To keep what they call it, keep body and soul together. But it looks like we don't have that. Yoruba had been a country before Nigeria independence in 1960. That's why they introduced the federal system, which was perfect, but we don't seem to see it. Some bit they are doing whatever they want. You go to the north, people are having their their own laws there. You cannot come and operate. But when you come to the south, you want to do something of the sort. Different ball games there. But you want to add your comments to it, feel free to do so. Yomi, about the women's equality march or protest that's going to be taking place in Nigeria, when is it supposed to take place?
Well, it's been going on for the last 10 days according to Amnesty International. There's a bill that doesn't represent the women gender and that is why they've been protesting. But I'm not sure whether there will be a change on that. But we'll have to continue to monitor. A lot of women have been suppressed and subject to inhumane, in the system. But like I said, we hope there will be a change to that. If otherwise, again, we just have to wait and see what happens.
Now, when it comes to the Senate, how many women do we have there? From the top of your head, do you know it?
I would say maybe just about 10, if not a little bit less than that.
And how many are they?
The total, the total when we come about the total senator that we have in Nigeria in today, Nigerians. I think this is the 9th Senate. Let's give a quick update on that. I think we have in total 109 seats at the moment. In the Senate. So 109.
And we have about 10 of them.
Two representing from each of the constituency, from each of the states.
Well, we wish the women all the best.
109. The
109.
Senate is made up of 109.
Okay. We wish the women all the best. I mean, no woman should be treated. I mean, like I said the other time, it was on this platform. I did say that the late Dr. Kojo Agri, one of Ghana's scholars at the time, did make a statement that when you educate a woman, you educate the whole nation, because if we empower them, they are able to empower the youth and their children. Because of their level of education and opportunities that they have, they will encourage us to also rise to that place. But when you have a situation where the old guys are still there just trying to pad their pockets with all the resources or the money that is coming from the state, it's quite a difficult one. Yoruba ethnic had been producing university graduates as far back as 1860. The first northern graduate was in 1958. Wow, Amayo, that's a good work you are doing today, giving me all those information, researching it for me. Thank you very, very much. Yomi, before we go.
Well, the last one from here, Olatunja officer. Nigerian police force population is just below 170,000. They cannot police the whole of Nigeria with a population of 205 million. And also, according to Pastor Moade Sonia, there's too much inequality in Nigerian system, unlike in UK and other nations where reasonable people are leading. So on that note, I'll say a very good morning. Don't touch the dial. It is still Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'll be back again same time tomorrow at 11 o'clock for more news out of Nigeria, and we'll be giving more information on the visit of President Muhammadu Buhari in Lagos tomorrow when we come back on air.
Okay, thank you very much, Yomi. Have a blessed day.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Star Radio UK. It is now 10 minutes to the top of the hour. We're going to take a break. As we come back, we continue with the show. I am Archie. Don't you go away. Let's enjoy some music from Sonny Okuson. You know what I'm going to be playing, don't you?
Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't fall. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to.
In your car,
At work.
at home.
On your smartphone.
The best radio show.
We all want to be millionaires.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Oh, let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Hark the voice.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. The Power Word International presents Doing Good Outreach 2022 Free Medical Screening and Crusade. Theme, Run to Jesus Christ, Your Only Savior. Venue, Avatimne Van, Wednesday, 6th April 2022. Avatimne Amejofe, Thursday, 7th April 2022. Avatimne Biakba, Friday, 8th April 2022. Avatimne Jongwefemne, Saturday, 9th April 2022. Free medical screening starts at 6 a.m. each day. Crusade starts at 7 p.m. each night. To support this worthy cause financially, kindly contact us on WhatsApp 0044 7851 205626. Email admin@thepowerwordint.co.uk or donate via website at thepowerwordint.co.uk. Run to Jesus Christ, your only Savior.
Run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ, beloved. Run. Now is the time. Now is the day. Today is the accepted and appointed season for you to run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ. Hallelujah.
Know about business, but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 3 minutes to the top of the hour, and it is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. I'm Archie. We had updates from Nigeria. We'll be looking at some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, and I'll be opening the lines a bit later today. Okay? Yes. So that I'll be able to touch on some of the other stories that we want to touch on. Okay. Now, interestingly, starting from still continuing from Africa, yes, in Ghana, failure of this incompetent government has been spectacular at all fronts. That's what the former president Mahama seems to be saying. He said that former president John Mahama says the economy has been left to ruin despite the lofty promises made by incumbent government to transform their country. The former president noted that the plight of Ghanaians has worsened throughout the various sectors of the economy. Indeed, we all recollect some of those mouth-watering promises, including one by the current president to transform this country, Ghana, within 18 months. The issues that affect the youth of Ghana, who dominate our population, are many. Mr. John Mahama made the comments when he launched the 10 up at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, UPS, on Monday afternoon. That was yesterday. For him, the failure of this government has been spectacular in all fronts because of its general incompetence and corruption. How do you equate the government, the current government, when it comes to their performance? Well, someone will say the economic tides are different. If you compare them, things were different from what was happening how many years ago, call it 10 years ago or 8 years back. Well, things have changed. We have COVID. We had COVID. We've had COVID for 2 years. We've had now we've had the Ukrainian crisis that is going on as well. Adding insult to injury. I mean, well. It is all Star Radio, okay. But still in Ghana, well, one of the aspirants for the NDC leadership, Dr. Kwabena Dufour, has said without addressing the concerns of branch and constituency executives, the opposition NDC party cannot properly reorganize its machinery and effectively strategize to capture power in 2024. This is according to a former governor of the Bank of Ghana. My apologies, I'm going to say England. And Minister of Finance of the Eswa NDC government, Dr. Kwabena Dufour. The leading member of the opposition party was addressing NDC party grassroots members at some branches and constituencies in his home region of Ashanti over the last weekend during an earlier an official party outreach program in the region. The outreach forms part of the party's reorganization efforts towards the 2024 general elections. Okay, addressing the concerns of our branch and constituency executive is key to the NDC's reorganization effort, Dr. Dufour wrote in the Facebook post after his meetings. This is all coming away from Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, Onzi Nkrumah files injunction against CPP chair from performing his duties. Well, when it comes to the political front, we have all sorts that happen. Now, Onzi Nkrumah, the vice chairman of the Convention People's Party, Onzi Kwame Nkrumah, has filed an interlocutory injunction against his party's chairperson Nana Frimpoma Sapong Kumakuma, seeking to stop her from performing her leadership duties. The application filed by the son of Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, is seeking for six reliefs. Now, Onzi Nkrumah, per his statement of claim, is seeking a declaration that defendants having gotten 43% of the total valid votes cast nationally did not obtain the minimum constitutional requirement of 50% plus 1 and therefore has not been validly elected by CPP delegates as chairperson and leader of the party and cannot hold herself as such. And that's interesting because if it's that is the what do you call it? Their measuring strength. Let me put it that way. Their standard that they use to measure who has won. So 50 plus 1%. Then he is right there. So if somebody got 43% overall, then the person cannot be the chairperson
of the party. So, well, kudos to him. I think I agree with him 105% there. So more than. But well, let it go to court. Let's see what is going to be happening to that. The Lola has arrested Bawumia. Oh, now you remember the vice president back in the day said that when they came to power, he's arrested the is it the dollar or the CD? Which one did he arrest? I think the dollar, and kept it in the what do you call it, in the Bank of Ghana. Okay, but now we see that the city, the dollar has fled, and now actually what they are saying now is the dollar has now turned around to arrest the vice president. Now this all statement that has been made by the former president. Now former president John Dramani Mahama has mocked the vice president Muhammadu Bawumia as the city continues to depreciate rapidly. Speaking at the lunch, as I did read earlier on, the former president disclosed that the hardship in the country has led the nation to a scale we have never witnessed in the last 30 years of our fourth republic. Now it goes on daily price increases, fuel price adjustment, and nose-diving currency, which has rather arrested the person who said he had arrested it. The dollar has rather arrested him. So we are looking for him. We can't find him. We will ask the IGP if he has the key to so that we could find where our vice president was. It's quite an interesting one. I want to see how the banter when it comes to the 2024 election, how it's going to be like. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Well, we'll see about that. It's all coming your way. Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, as the bashing of the vice president goes on, Dr. Obeda Samuel has also said Bawumia reportedly interested in MPP flag bearership race. Bawumia's champion government digitalization agenda. NDC accused Bawumia of abandoning economic messiah niche. The former chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Dr. Obediyawa Samuel, has opened the vice president, the vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is silent on the economy as a result of his reported presidential ambition. According to him, a realization has dawned on the vice president that he may lead the New Patriotic Party into the 2024 general election. He said the vice president was thus afraid to continue commenting on the economy as it may be used against him by his political opponents. So what is he going to do now? Is he going to be quiet and still continue with what is happening? And then what? To what end? Well. Listeners, it is Star Radio UK. Those are some of the stories making the rounds in Ghana. Well, there was another story making the round pertaining to the reviewing of the free SHS. But upon Nkrumah, the Minister of Information has categorically explained that he hasn't set on record that the government flagship program of free senior high school will be reviewed. And the Minister of Information, Kojo upon Nkrumah, speaking this morning, explained that I have never said anywhere that the free SHS will be reviewed, but the technical teams are going through the 2022 budget to make some possible adjustment. However, this morning I had information also coming through that government appointees are going to have their salaries cut by about 30%. How true is that? We want to know more about that. As I say, when people say let's buckle up, let's tighten our belts, if I'm tightening up my belt, as a citizen, I expect the leadership to tighten their belts, not to get an extension to their belts as well. Well, this is all coming your way from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. With the time now, 6 minutes past the top of the hour. Now, World Happiness Report checks out Africa's top 10. Okay, and I can tell you. Now, let me bring you a bit of the United Nations Sustainable Development Solution Network published on Sunday its annual World Happiness Report. If happiness or well-being are often deemed subjective notions, experts who participated in the report focused on the 6 indicators: GDP per capita, social support, healthy life expectancy, freedom, generosity, and corruption. The ranking did not rely on the index of these factors, but rather on individuals' own assessment of their lives. Now, Finland, Denmark, and Sweden occupy the top 3 positions. The ranking of the happiness is based on a 3-year average from 2019 to 2021. So let's look at those countries there. For Africa, we have Mauritius. Out of the 146 surveyed, here, the ranking, Mauritius is the 52nd. We have Libya, that is 86. Even upon all this war and all this uncertainty, people see them as better off. Okay, Ivory Coast, followed by Ivory Coast. Well, Ivory Coast are doing very, very good. They are number 88. Now, 91, South Africa. 93, the Gambia. 96, Algeria. 97, Liberia. 99, the Congo. 100, Morocco. 101, Mozambique. Where is Ghana? I don't know where Ghana is. Where is Nigeria? I don't know where Nigeria is. But it's quite an interesting details there for you. Well, so do you deem your country as a happy place? That you are happy, you got what you want, and others have not got it? Well. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 8 minutes past the top of the hour. Underground water to alleviate water scarcity in dry regions. Now today is World Water Day under the theme groundwater, making the invisible visible. And in Kenya, climate change is pushing conventional means of supplying water to a new level, and they are looking at that. So groundwater. But look at the way that when you take Ghana and some of the way we are destroying our water bodies and stuff like that, you ask yourself, it's going to get to a time where we will have to be importing water. And we're importing water from where? I remember back in the day when the former president, that's John Mahama, it did inaugurate they had a system where the seawater was, they had some machinery that changed it, or that took the saltiness out of it and made it wholesome water for the people to use around, is it Nungwa, Teshi area there? I think so. But all those things have been thrown off board. They are no more working. And you ask yourself, so what are we doing to ourselves? Somebody comes in and something that somebody started that is benefiting the community, we decide let's leave it. And then things that have been started that needs to be completed, we decide let's leave it. We live a life as if we have got the funds, but actually we are so impoverished that we don't know what to do. Well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, President Todera opens peace talks despite opposition boycott. What is that? The story says that the Central African Republic on Monday kicked off national reconciliation talks in a bid to bring peace to the troubled country. But no rebel groups were invited, and the opposition is boycotting the forum. So, if you are saying you want to do a peace talk, and then you want those who you are supposed to, broker that peace with, are not part of it. So, what are you talking about? Well, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, here in the UK, a toddler who died after dog attack at her home in St. Helens has been named as Bella Rai Birch by Merseyside Police. It's a very, very sad one there. We say may her soul rest in perfect peace. May her soul rest in perfect peace. Okay, let's take a quick break, and then we come back and I open the lines, and everyone can join in on it. But now, let's stay tuned. Don't you go away. A quick commercial break, and I'll bring you some music, and then we continue. Stay tuned.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about Sendwave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of digging the hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy. Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It's now going 12:15 the time. Let me open the lines for you to join in. Now, if you want to join the conversation, it is 0208-133-2257 or 58. 0208-133-2257 or 58. Feel free, join in. Feel free, join in. And then, yes, if you are in the US, Canada, or the Caribbean area, it is 0017183032737. 0017183032737. To text or WhatsApp at 0753966174 0753966174. Our Twitter handle is @Starr Radio UK, and our email address is info@starradiouk.com. Some information that I'm getting, there might be a slight break in our program due to some upgrade work that will go on. So if it happens whilst we are on air, I might have to take a pause or a break, a bit of it before we continue. So wherever you are, don't you go away, but continue to stay with me on Starr Radio UK. Now, so let's look at the story that is making the rounds here in the UK, and then we'll look at what is happening across Europe and the other parts of the world as well. Well, in the UK front, the dog bought a week ago kills girl at home. Mentioned the name of the lady, the little girl. A 17-month-old girl has died after being attacked by a dog in her home. Bella Rai Birch died in hospital after attack in St. Helens at about 15:50 GMT on Monday, Merseyside police have said. Now, officers said her absolutely devastated family. Her absolutely devastated family, bought the dog a week ago. Now, police will carry out tests on the animal, which was killed by officers, to see if it was an illegal breed, as well as trying to identify its previous owner. Okay. Okay, listen, just bear with me. As I said, okay, they're sending me some information for some updates. So now, okay, one neighbor who is due to go to university to train as a paramedic said the child's parents were hysterical. We pulled up from school and heard screaming. I just ran over to try to help and started CPR until the paramedics took over. She said, I didn't see the dog. I was just focusing on helping the baby. Another neighbor who helped to give CPR said the parents doted on the children. It's too upsetting to say anything else. A sad one there. May her soul rest in perfect peace, and our condolences to the family as well. It is Starr Radio UK. Now, when it comes to the economy, now information coming to spring statement, borrowing figures give Rishi Sunak a wiggle room. Okay, so the information says the Chancellor has wiggle room to help tackle the rising cost of living, and influential economists has said. Now, Sir Charlie Bean said that Rishi Sunak may have such as much as 50 billion pounds to play with ahead of the spring statement on Wednesday. Now, new official data also show that the government is borrowing less than expected so far this year. It comes as pressure mounts on Chancellor Rishi Sunak to take action to tackle soaring costs. Now, calls from the charities and politicians have been growing for the Chancellor to address the increasing pressure on household budgets at the spring statement on Wednesday. Now, where he will deliver an update on how the economy is faring, as well as some policy update. But Mr. Sunak has said the priority has to be shrinking the amount that government has to borrow to make up for the shortfall between what it borrowed and what it earns in receipt. Well, it is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Interesting times ahead. But I've got Kojo D, who has joined us. He's an expert in that front. We'll be telling you more about that. Kojo, let me say good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Archie. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. And you?
Oh, good. I'm all right. Yeah, doing
great.
Doing well.
Great.
Also. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Yes. Your take so far.
Well, we can't really start from anywhere because everything that we read, it's really troubling.
Yeah.
I mean, either from Africa, from the Middle East, they go towards Ukraine. I mean, it's all troubling, really.
Yeah.
And back home, where we live, it's again a bit troubling. Yeah. So really, where do we pick it from? We can pick it from a better news.
Yeah.
Where the Chancellor, you've just read, the Chancellor says he has
got a 50 billion wiggle room.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What do you think the Chancellor can do? What can he offer? I mean, you were looking at before the war, that they were saying that because of the hike in energy prices, they were going to give us 150 and another 200, so bringing it to 350 for the next 12 months. But now with what is happening, it's gone overboard. So what can he give to?
Let's put it this way. Look, the 350 they are giving us, 200 of that is a loan.
Yeah. I've forgotten about that.
Money. It's a loan bill. I mean, there have been people who say they don't basically want it.
Yeah.
They want to opt out. They want to just pay. They don't want £200.
Then tomorrow they have to be paying for it.
But he's still pressing on to do it. I mean, there have been other suggestions given him, which could mean he's not giving us £200 each, every household £200 each. But he still doesn't want to take that. So really, what it means is that having a bit of wiggle room means that they collected a bit more tax than they had anticipated. I mean, that's
Yeah,
how it is.
yeah.
So that brought the borrowing down. So whatever they've collected, there are rumors that, well, we don't know what there'll be the spring budget
more,
which is not a full budget, we should put it that way. But the way things are going, it might be pushed into giving, making it almost like a full budget. So people are anticipating that if you have a bit of wiggle room, then immediately, what do? You do things that will benefit the population, will benefit the hike in prices, you benefit the cost of living should go down because at the moment it's just going up and up, and the Bank of England has done its bit to try to stabilize inflation, but which means that it is reducing what people can spend. And again, if you're reducing what people can spend, it means that the government will be taking less in taxes.
Yeah.
So, for example, fuel price has gone up. Some people have virtually reduced the amount of driving they do in a day because they want to save.
Yeah, of course.
So how much taxes is the government going to collect from the fuel duty? But again, anticipation is that because the fuel prices are galloping upward, more than 50% of what we pay at the pump is duty. So people's point of view is, look,
reduce that. The government,
and that will probably bring the inflation slightly downward, or let's call it people have more money in their pocket. If that happens, given the fact that national insurance contribution, which is another form of tax, let's face it, it's a tax, is going up. So that on average, people are going to pay about 250 extra, or they're going to be 250 extra not paid, less off, less 250 pounds less off this year. But that is not, doesn't mean that is how much they are paying into the NIC contribution. No, they're going to be 250 pounds less off. So people are saying there's a lot he could do, which of course he should do. I mean, people know the government did a lot, spearheaded by the Chancellor with all these fellow schemes and all that. They did a lot. So there is still more they can do. But I think he just wants to cut down on the borrowing. And at the moment, maybe that might not be the right way. That's my opinion. That might not be the right way to go. But again, people do say that you still need to cut down on the borrowing. So how do they do it? It has to be balanced in such a way that people are not going to suffer. As we do say, well, you either eat or hit. So,
Eat
so
or hit,
if you want to eat, you don't eat. So it has to be, we call it hard choices. People are making hard choices, whether they want to eat today or they want to keep the heating on today. I mean, or they want to forgo, one item for the other.
Opportunity cost.
There's a huge decision he has to make in this spring budget. And I think, in my opinion, if he has a wiggle room, then he should actually be trying to mitigate the cost of living. And he has to do something about fuel duty. Look, last week I was trying to find somewhere to fill my tank. I mean, virtually everywhere was almost 167. And whilst I took an app out and trying to find where I can get it cheaper. And I found one. I don't want to give the publicity. Where you've been going,
I see that place. That's a place. That's a place that is a bit cheap,
Cheap, it happened to be price. It was 161. 161. When I look it up, so I quickly drove there.
Okay.
And when I got there, whilst I was pumping it, there was and the prices just went up.
Oh wow! Wow! Oh wow!
I was like, I got here, it was 161.
Oh gosh!
Just as I parked my car and I was pulling out, you know, to put it, it went up to 162. Yeah,
Interesting.
By the time I drive up, the next 1 hour or two, it will go to 163 or 164. Yeah, so those are the things that I think he should do. We're not forcing people to make hard choices.
Okay.
Choices which mean there will be. Yeah, we hope some good news comes out of all this. He's trying to do.
Okay, listeners, Starr Radio UK. Now with Kojo in South London. Now let's look at what is happening in Ukraine and the impact and the actions that the governments, the Western governments have taken so far. Its impact on them. Now, yesterday we had Joe Biden saying that it looks like Putin's back is against the war and therefore might try to fight dirty. Let me put it that way. So using chemical or biological. Using chemical or biological. But the question is, do you think the West is doing enough? Because if you look at the carnage that is going on, the destruction that is, I'm not looking at whether the push factor, what caused Putin to take these steps, and I mean those who are against it, those who are for it. I'm not looking at that, but the destruction that is taking place, the innocent lives that is being taken, and the propaganda that is going on in various parts. What do you think? Do you think that the West has done enough to stop what is going on?
Well, I think let's put it this way. They could have done much better before it got to the stage in which it got to. So, I heard from when the whole thing, he's gone quiet now.
Yeah.
When the whole thing started, he was up saying that, oh, this couldn't have happened under his leadership. And I remember you wanting to know was that true. The basic fact is they could have done more for Ukraine when in the last 8 years. I mean, when you talk to most Ukrainians, people in Ukraine, they knew this was coming.
Yeah.
But how prepared were they? They've known this for the last 7 or 8 years. I mean, at least for 7 years after the invasion of Crimea, they knew that something massive was going to happen. And when you talk to them, they all say, oh, yeah, there are always rumors of Russia attacking them. But Russia is considered attacking them because of the view that they are family.
Yeah,
I mean, so
they are brothers.
You find people in Kremlin today whose grandparents are from Ukraine. Yeah, so they're saying, and you find vast parts of Ukraine still speak Russian. So, like in Mariupol, about 90% of the people speak Russian. So people didn't foresee this, and I think that I don't want to say Western countries or democracy. Let me put it democracy. I want to adopt that word instead because the biggest democracy is now in the world is probably Brazil or India. Sorry,
India.
So outside or Ukraine, Western countries and other democracies hadn't ensured that this shouldn't happen. Given the fact that some of these democracies, like Western countries, also trade freely with Ukraine, so they could have done more from the beginning. I mean, well, they didn't do much. They could have strategically Ukraine. And somebody like, the reason why I brought Trump into the picture, someone like Trump, we have military aid from Ukraine.
He did. I remember that.
Sitting somewhere and saying because he wanted Zelensky to throw debt on Joe Biden, so that that would destroy Joe Biden's chances of winning the election. And when Zelensky said he wasn't going to do that because this what you were asking for never happened, he decided to withhold military aid from them.
Yeah.
So they were
Yeah.
completely stripped.
Yeah.
And the EU also didn't do much. I mean, we know famously the EU is
Germany. Germany.
So you can't do much apart from, and the French trying to chip in because of their population size. So
Yeah.
practically it's the two of them that control the EU, and
Yeah.
they never did anything.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything. Germany went neutral. Let me say went white completely. They also withheld military aid from Ukraine. I mean, they not in the sense like America did. They did not provide anything. They didn't withhold anything.
Okay, they weren't
support them
providing.
in
Yeah,
any way.
yeah.
And now, what is left for them to do? If Ukraine had been properly armed in all those times, I'm sure Russia would have taken a step back and said, we don't want to do this. We just want to update our brothers. Or they would have taken a different view. I mean, but things already happened. They can't do anything as it stands. In Joe Biden's words, they don't want a World War III. They don't want to even say there's a red line to cross. Because they don't know whether if they put a red line.
Now he will cross it and they say, now bring it on.
Honestly. Say, let me see what you can do.
Yeah.
So they are just being careful. They don't want to put a red line. Because previously Obama also put a red line.
Yeah, in the Syrian war.
When he did die in Syria, what did they do?
Nothing.
No, this is Russia. Let's leave him. So they don't have a choice as it stands now. If they try to put down a red line, that red line will come. The Russia will cross the red line, and the West will be powerless to do anything. I'm being honest.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
They won't do anything.
Anything.
At the end of the day, Ukraine is taking the beating which Western democracies should have taken. I mean, that is how it appears to me now.
Yeah. That's exactly what is happening. That's what is happening.
They're just taking the beating they shouldn't have taken. It's like, okay, if I have a quarrel with your dad,
I'll go beat you. I can beat you.
Give the son a good beating, and the dad will be standing somewhere and be telling the son to blow him.
Yeah, hit him.
And that is the kind of thing that they are doing. The bigger boys are standing somewhere telling Ukraine, we'll give you defensive
weapons.
Oh, catch the bombs. How is that helping?
Catching the bombs. Look at the destruction that is going. It's so serious. It's so serious. I mean,
even if that's the thing you're saying. Even if they catch the bombs have to land somewhere.
Yeah.
And wherever the bomb lands, even in the field, it will still cause damage. And it depends on how quickly they catch the bomb. If they didn't catch it quickly in the field and they caught it on top of the building,
the
building will be gone.
It's sad. It's sad.
It's so sad. There's nothing that look, these Western democracies can do. I mean, when you put it this way, some nations have decided not to talk because they also have other interests.
With Russia.
With Russia.
Yeah.
So you look at a Western democracy like Israel. What did they say? Nothing.
Nothing.
Because as far as they are concerned, what did they buy from Russia? Russia is providing a buffer between them and where? Iran. I mean, if push comes to shove, and let's say Iran wants to do something, there are more Russians living in Israel. And the oligarchs make their second home. Apart from London, their second home is Israel. They will come into the picture. And I suspect that there is even a technology exchange between the two of them. But some of these things never get out. But there could be something. So Israel won't say anything. India won't say anything because India is also buying arms and technology from Russia. I mean, all this space technology that India is embarking on, where are they buying it from? They're buying it from Russia. So it's just a geopolitics gone back. and the country suffering is Ukraine, and I don't think there's any solution coming near except there's a ceasefire and Russia decides that, look, we've had enough. We want to leave them. I mean, that's the only solution at the moment.
Now let me ask you about these speeches that Zelensky has been going around, calling the Western or democracies. I mean, talking to them, appealing to them, which we know that is all falling on deaf ears. I mean, they will promise, oh, we'll bring you this defense, blah blah blah, and actually, he comes on and the next time he said, we've not gotten anything yet, and our people are ready to fight. And so you see that it's all promise. What's the point of still going around? Today he's addressed the Italian parliament, and you ask yourself, so what are they doing about it?
Well, famously, Italy was among one of the countries that tried to stop SWIFT and all those. Russia being excluded from the SWIFT system. I don't see any change coming from he talking to these people, apart from all of them applauding him. And as the situation stands now, even if Russia decides to assassinate him, that will become a grave something for Russia to do. So Russia is not going to even try to assassinate him in any way, because he's globe-trotted every parliament. And if they assassinate him, it will not look nice on Russia. So they won't assassinate him, in my view. I don't think Russia is going to try to take him out of the picture. I mean, if we're the earlier part of the war, they would have. But
that would have demoralized them. But the way that he's gone about it now, they will not.
Gone about it. Even if you take him out, what effect will it be? The people have been energized. And they still want to continue.
Now, even they do that, it's going to empower. It's going to energize them more to go on. I
mean, but coming back to your question, Papa. What is he achieving? I don't think he's achieving much. I'm just being honest. It's not. He's talking to various parliaments. They are all people are sitting there clapping.
They'll clap. That's what they do. That's what they are doing. I'm just like, no.
They're not making any commitments. I mean, even if when you look at even taking up refugees in various countries, the UK kept talking and talking. Patel is still
putting impediments in the way of people to
what she wants to do. I mean, was it yesterday we heard that some
we're supposed to have flown to the UK, but they are orphans. They are orphans, so you cannot say that there are terrorists in them.
Exactly. I mean, those people, the oldest person among them, boy among them is 15. The oldest boy is 15-year-old. The rest are just tiny little children and girls. But they still put other impediments on their way. Some paperwork hasn't been signed. How that paperwork came into the picture, I don't think anybody of us can really understand. So you can say he's talking to everybody, but nothing is really happening. Apart from previously, when America wasn't making a commitment pre the war, UK made a lot of commitment and military aid came from the UK. But UK alone, what could they do?
Now let's look at
the might of Russia.
Now let's look at the other states, that's former USSR countries, countries that have come out. Look at Latvia and all those people around there. Now we've seen some of them who are now embarking on military training. I mean, the people, but again, because they belong to NATO, okay. But my worry is, look at what Russia is doing. Look at the destruction that is going on in Ukraine. If he decide that, okay, I've taken that, the big one, I've taken it. Now I'm coming for the smaller ones. Do you think NATO can do anything because they don't want the second, third world war? Do you think they will do anything?
That's a difficult one to answer, really. And I don't think Putin is that mad, right? To want to attack a NATO country for the same reason why he is attacking Ukraine. He is saying he doesn't want Ukraine to be part of NATO. He doesn't want NATO next door to him. So he can see the threat from NATO. So why would he want to attack NATO? He won't do it. He's not. I mean, honestly, I don't think he's that mad to do it, knowing very well he also doesn't want at the same time to trigger a third world war.
Really?
He doesn't want, he doesn't want the one who will go down in history to say he was the one who triggered a third world war. He wouldn't want to do it. But like we always say, you can't get into the mind of Putin. But that is how that is my opinion on the whole situation. He wouldn't want to. I mean, he might do skirmishes close to the NATO border to prove that I can do something. But I don't think he's so mad to do it.
Now he say, I mean the West again saying that look, we will try him, we'll put him on trial and all that stuff that they are talking about. I mean for
war crimes.
Yeah, war crimes. And
you can only try a man when the man is in your hands.
Yeah, so you know that definitely this is your intention, so he will do everything so that you cannot get him.
Oh, how are you going to try him when you can't get him? He could travel freely to China or Belarus. Who is going to arrest him in China or Belarus? They could have a war crime tribunal like they did with Sarajevo and the Serbs and all that. But Russia is not Serbia. It's not Yugoslavia. They can constitute a war crimes tribunal and try him, but are they going to really try to arrest him? They won't try. They won't. They won't try. So I mean, this is he's just going to because at the moment he's also talking the same language Western countries are talking. Right? Now Russia is the same thing because it's all too much propaganda everywhere anyway from the Ukrainian state as well. So he is now saying those places that we have actually bombed, there were not human beings over there. The intelligence they had is simply they were being used as weapons and arms, devils. So we went after them. The ammunition, we went after the weapons, we went after their surface-to-air missile.
Yeah.
Went for their missile system. And what can you do? And he's saying that on some occasions, Ukraine is even using its population and foreigners as human show. So let's put it this way: military term, we say cannon fodder.
Yeah.
So that is what he's saying. So. And it's so hard for anybody to really say exactly what it is because it takes a long time to get the images from the various parts of Ukraine. Satellites are not able to provide accurate image. So now on Russian state TV, the images are being shown to the people. But there's a different narrative accompanying those images. So he's telling his own people, this is what is going on in Ukraine. Of course, and the West will say, this is what is going on. But the narratives on both sides are slightly different.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there's so much rhetoric going on, so much propaganda. Going on. But because we are in the West, we have that level of multiple sources of news that we can look at. But if you're in Russia, you don't have that multiple sources you can look at. But what is happening in Russia now, currently, is that people across the border who are also Russian-speaking people, who have families across the other side into the Russian Federation, are taking WhatsApp images and sending it across and talking on Telegram with their families across the border, and that image is now getting around, and they are saying, "This is see what Putin is doing to us." So again, Putin now has gone on state TV and said, "Well, we are not the ones doing it. It's the Ukrainian nationalists that are doing all that kind of thing, and we are liberating Ukraine, as we've told you previously. So it's really a difficult one. Yeah.
Well, listeners, Star Radio UK, geopolitics and its impact on you wherever you might be. Yeah. Well, quite an interesting time that we find ourselves in.
And I think to add to it, the sanctions are slightly biting Russia now. So
okay.
I mean, from the news we heard today, that news came from the Kremlin. It wasn't the West who put that news out. The Kremlin is actually telling the Russian citizens to not stockpile goods.
So people are during the COVID, when people were buying stuff and then
okay.
Stockpiling.
There's a wild pandemic, people buying from the shop. So that message has put out by the Russian state to its citizens not to do that. And of course, the reason why that message has been put out is because now the message has got to the citizens that there is a sanction against the country.
Yeah.
So the citizens are thinking, all right, there's sanctions. Some things that we like from the West, we might not be having them. And added on to that, because there are no planes flying into Russia and in and out, the airport workers are now being furloughed, and that is official from the state media in Russia. They're being furloughed because they are not working. Basically, they don't have income.
Yeah, because that sector is not operating. But
exactly.
But before we run up, the brokering of peace. Now, what do you think? Because we had Zelensky saying that he's now even calling on the Pope to be the intermediary that will see to broker the peace between them. Do you think that will work? Because we have the Pope who has come out to say what Russia is doing. Russia is going to turn Ukraine to a graveyard, blah blah blah. So he's made all that statement already. Do you think that he's the one who will be able to broker a peace between them?
Well, he could, but if he needs to do it, it must also be done in consultation with the Russian Orthodox Church leaders. Because the Russian Orthodox leader has a huge influence over Putin, really. So.
Yeah, he went there. You remember when he was going to start the war? I think the night before they started the war, he went to the temple.
He went to the temple to receive prayer from. I'm trying to remember his name. Is this Zealand or this? Yeah, the first. So I mean, if anything of that nature needs to be done, the Pope needs to speak to his counterpart in Russia, and he is the head of the Orthodox church in Russia, so, and he also has an influence over Putin. So, well, it could be done, and the two religious leaders could get their heads together. Although officially, as I was speaking to somebody, 80% of Russians think they are real Christians, but I spoke to somebody there. He said, actually, that's not true. It's only 5% of Russians who are actual Christians. The rest are atheists.
Somebody would say, I mean, I'm looking at the Orthodox Church, or what kind of practice do they practice? Is it Judaism? Is it Christianity? What another maybe Eastern?
They also read the Bible. They read the Bible. I mean, it's the same. They have the same Orthodox Church in Ukraine. When I was in Ukraine, I mean. We had interaction with the Orthodox priests, and they were in our meetings. We also went into their meetings. So when you get into their temples, I mean, the worship resembles a Catholic church worship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And whatever they wear resembles a Catholic. The Catholic a bit of variation. So I took a few pictures with a couple of them. And the next time we see each other, I'll show you some of the pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting. They all use the Bible, to read the same Bible, read no change to the Bible, nothing really. They are just like you know, they are just like the Catholics, and they have some of their books, like the Catholics have their books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just similar. So yeah, the two of them can put their heads together and have a talk first before making a proposal to meet the two leaders, because I think Zelensky is desperate to meet Putin face to face, and I'm sure when he meets Putin, it is not Ukrainian language he's going to speak, because Zelensky speaks Russian as well. Yeah, so most people that I met in Ukraine speaks Russian and Ukrainian. So the Russian is their first language. The people, especially people in their 40s and 50s, the Russian language is their first language. And their mother tongue is Ukrainian, which is almost become like a second language to them, because everybody speaks Russian, and people were trying to move from the Russian to Ukrainian. So it's the younger kids who are now speaking more Ukrainian, but people in their 40s, they all speak Russian.
Okay, listeners, we're going to be running up pretty soon, but let me just take you straight to Ghana for just one story there, and then we'll run off. That is pertaining to the vice president's silence, which the what do you call him? My apologies. The former president, the NDC are saying that, well, it's because of his fortunes. He's looking at his fortunes when it comes to being the flag bearer of the MPP. That's why it's making him keep quiet. And the NDC, that President Mahama is saying that he thinks that the dollar has arrested him and that he needs to be rescued. So he's going to see the IGP so that they get him the key. They can go and rescue him. Now, what do you think is going on? Why is he not commenting on what exactly is going on there? The E-levy, we've never heard him utter a word. So if it is good, why wasn't he part of the one championing it?
Well, I think we've raised it on this program before. If you remember, sometime last week, we were raising that where is the famous vice president who is the economic guru, as he's counted. But going mute, I think political observers have already made that point, that he probably doesn't want to spoil his chances. Let me use that word. For his chances of becoming the president of Ghana in 2024. And the same applies to his other opponent, who is the trade minister. Has the trade minister said anything?
No, he's just traded.
He's also been quiet in the news. So both of them have just been quiet in the news. I mean, it's like they want to detach themselves from the current economic difficulty and leave it to the people who don't have any presidential ambition to talk about the difficulties the economy is facing at the moment. So rightly so, they are talking about people like Ken Oforiatta, who hadn't got ambitions to be a president very soon. He might have a later ambition, but he's probably it now. So let him do all the talk. Let every other person like Opon Nkrumah and Co do the talk. Of course, Opon Nkrumah hasn't got a choice because he's an information minister. He has to talk. So that is how it's looking more like. That the two main presidential aspirants, right, who want to throw their weight into the ring to become presidents of Ghana, want to stay away from the discourse, the current discourse and the current discourse on the economy and the challenges the economy is facing. So they are not put in a situation where they are trying to answer questions about the economy. I haven't even seen them addressing even any rallies or anything at all. Of course, it's too early in the race to address groups. But, you know, government ministers are always somewhere talking.
Right? But they don't seem to be touching on that.
Prior to he declaring his ambition, he always, almost every now and then, he's in a church, he's in a mosque, but he's never been making those appearances as well. So for political commentators, why is he doing that? He doesn't want his ambition to be mad or tied with the current economic difficulty. So leave it to the president and leave it to the economic ministers to solve it.
Okay. Well, listen, Starr Radio UK. We're going to be running up. But Kojo, I mean, any story that have made your day, if you want to touch on that.
Well, the other story that maybe we might want to pick up from Ghana is a story that you picked last week, something about the free education.
Yeah.
That you pick. Now the information minister is talking about, he hadn't actually
made
said
that
anything
statement
about a review of the whole program. But as we know, we've all been had that same agreement. Look, if you go to Ghana now, people in NDC, people in MPP, they've all come to that realization that there had to be some review.
Yeah.
So some benefits, the fisheries in private institutions, do they have to continue benefiting from it? And that wasn't how it was planned for. But they are still benefiting from it. So if you're talking about anything to be reviewed, anything to be looked at, that is what should be looked at.
Okay.
And finally, I want to talk about Adwoa Safo. Oh, yeah. What is all this about the demonstration from some sector of his constituents? Why is this being spearheaded? Because she hasn't appeared in Parliament.
Yeah, they just want to do everything to get her out. Yeah.
Not there. You don't know. The public hasn't been given any information, but it looks like other people whose voices are sounding loud about she being the problem why the E-levy is not being passed, are going to have a way out to demonstrate.
Yeah.
And is it fair to the woman when we don't actually know exactly what the situation is? And I think we've all agreed on that same fact that we need to know exactly what her situation is.
Yeah.
What she has told Parliament, whether the reasons she's given for not appearing in Parliament has been accepted. We don't know all those facts. But here is a case, a group of people want to demonstrate because they've heard persistently from MPP own membership calling for her to quit Parliament.
Yeah. But I don't know. Do you think that it could happen that they could get her out? Or last minute she'll just step in and then just show fake?
Oh, Archie has been given a leave of absence, which we don't even know as of this stage. So if her leave of absence is expiring or has expired and she doesn't go back, then it means that she's left. Then there could be a by-election. But this could drag on for a while. If she's been given a leave of absence, then it's a different story now.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the two that really are of interest to me. Yeah.
All right, Kojo, let me say thank you very much for your wonderful submission once again. Yeah. So we catch up tomorrow, God willing.
We'll catch up at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, all our listeners. We'll catch up.
Okay.
Some other time.
Yes.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Bye for now. Well. Yeah, okay, listeners, this is where we bring the program to a close. But this afternoon, as I said, there's going to be BB Means Business, BB Clement, and he says, how to protect and preserve your wealth. Okay, we'll be looking at that today. So make sure you make a date with BB Clement on this program. That will be exactly in the next 30 minutes. And this evening, exactly at 8 o'clock, let's see your program will be coming your way with Simone Frazier. Another smasher of a program. So make sure you make a date with her as well. So on that note, let me say thank you very much for tuning in to listen to us today. It's with me, Archie, Kojo D, and all the wonderful people who joined in today. We salute you. Have a top of the day. Bye-bye for now.
The voice.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. The Power Word International presents Doing Good Outreach 2022 Free Medical Screening and Crusade. Theme, Run to Jesus Christ, Your Only Savior. Venue, Avatimne Van, Wednesday 6th April 2022. Avatimne Amejofe, Thursday 7th April 2022. Avatimne Biakba, Friday 8th April 2022. Avatimne Jongwefemne, Saturday 9th April 2022. Free medical screening starts at 6 a.m. each day. Crusade starts at 7 p.m. each night. To support this worthy cause financially, kindly contact us on WhatsApp 0044 7851 205626. Email admin@thepowerwordint.co.uk or donate via website at thepowerwordint.co.uk. Run to Jesus Christ, your only Savior.
Run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ, beloved. Run. Now is the time. Now is the day. Today is the accepted and appointed season for you to run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ. Hallelujah.
Waiting there happy for Africa. Dusty old men holding on to power, leading the people to where the creator